Saturday, May 21, 2022, DanGryder. Probable cause. This is a bad one. This is a really bad one. This accident happened last night out in Wayne, Nebraska. They have an event out there called Stole Drag. It's called the Mayday Stole Drag. Here's a picture off the website for it. It's going down. May 20 to 22 Stole Drag races at the airport KLCG. LCG is Wayne, Nebraska. This is the second annual event that they've had this out here. And here's what it is. Stole and Stole Drag. Stole stands for short takeoff landing. STOL, short takeoff landing. Stole Drag is kind of like a drag race where they use the airplanes and they fly side by side and they race each other, which is all cool. I think it's a great idea. They have a lot of fun and stuff like that. So the Stole and Stole Drag thing has really come about in the last couple of years. I myself have not been involved or done it. Not that I'm opposed to it. It's just there's a few things, you can't do it all. I'm more of a turbine instruction, general aviation, corporate warbird type stuff. I don't do aerobatics. I don't do Stole. I don't do Stole Drag. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but here's what those guys do, and I think they have a tremendous amount of fun. It's a lot of camaraderie. The big tire guys hang out together. They fly out in the back country together. It's some beautiful flying and some beautiful locations. I'm having second thoughts about some of this kind of stuff. Maybe you can help realign my thinking, as you often do on this. Let's take a look who got killed here yesterday. This guy's name's Tom Dafoe. He's from California. He's flying this Cessna 140. And here's a picture of the accident airplane just after it happened here. It's a Cessna 140. It's an old airplane, and he was flying it. It does have flaps, and he was competing in the competition out there. This is his first year to compete in the Mayday Stole Drag race out there. Here's a picture from the website of his bio. Tom Dafoe did not participate last year, and you can see that on the Mayday Stole Drag website out there if you want to go take a look at yourself. Here's a picture of the airplane. Let's take a look at this. Here's the Cessna 140 information on this thing. It says, according to the manufacturer, the stall speed of the Model 140 is around 40 knots, which implies that you can make approaches at 48 to 50. 48 to 50 knots. Now let's think about that. Stall speed's 40, which implies that you can make approaches at 48 to 50. So there's a little buffer of protection that they've built in there for you. If the stall speed's 40, they want you coming in 48 to 50. I'd probably come in 52 to 55 if it was me. But then again, for Stole, you're not really going to operate quite like that. The problem with this is that there's a lot of new people getting into this low time. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Very low time, beginners, young people, private pilots, very low experience. Take a look at this clip.
I'm Ross, and in 3 days, I'm going to be doing my first Stole competition.
STOL, meaning short takeoff and landing.
So here's Juan Brown. Blanco area made this video yesterday. He was out there. Now this video that he shot occurred just before the accident happened.
All right, we're here at Wayne, Nebraska. We're doing some preliminary training of some of the rookies.
Here's a picture of Tom's pilot's license credentials. He's a private pilot. Airplane single engine land, airplane single engine seat, and he does have an instrument rating. He's from California. I'm not sure how many hours he has. Doesn't really matter. He's probably fairly proficient in that Cessna 140. Ironically, Flying Magazine had just done a feature on him a few days ago. An aircraft broker took the plunge into air park living. Here's how it's going. And Tom's a great guy with a good family out there. More on that in a little bit. Here's an AOPA article. I'm starting to think a little bit more carefully about this. Let's read this. Must attend Stole events for 2022. How slow can they really go? See for yourself. So now I'm back to how slow can they really go? But a better question is, how slow should they go? Remember, in airplanes, you have to have either altitude or airspeed. The definition of Stole, by definition and by choice, you have neither. You have neither altitude or airspeed. If anything goes wrong, there's not enough altitude to recover, and you're coming in right on the ragged edge. Now, here's a picture of an airspeed indicator. This is not the airspeed indicator that was in Tom's airplane. This is a generic Part 23 General Aviation Airspeed Indicator for example purposes only. Look at this. VSO and VS1 are clearly marked. Bottom of the green, bottom of the white. VSO. Now, I would never come in at VSO. I would come in at 1.3 VSO, so I always mark up my airspeed indicators. It doesn't do me any good to know that the airspeed indicator is marked for VSO. Here's another airspeed indicator. Here's a generic one that I'm going to go ahead and mark up for you. This is not the airspeed indicator of the accident airplane. This is a generic one. If this was your airspeed indicator, here's what I would mark it as: DMMS, that's defined minimum maneuvering speed. I wouldn't fly anything less than this in the traffic pattern until I got on final, flaps out, configured, everything good, and then I would slow up to VREF. VREF is the slowest I would go. If you're going to take a check ride, or if you're a student, or if you're flying in the pattern, VREF to VREF plus 5 is your friend. Nothing less than VREF. The FAA ACS says VREF minus 0. Those are your tolerances. Don't bust VREF. Now let's take a look at this yellow area. This yellow area is where the STOL guys live. They're flying around on approach with no altitude, coming in on final at a couple hundred feet, and they are hanging it on the prop right here at the bottom of the white. Now, most of the STOL guys probably do not even look at their airspeed indicator, which is fine. They're flying in and out of the burble, the actual pre-stall buffet on the wing. When they get a little bit of buffet, they give it a little bit of nose down and compensate. They're coming in right on the ragged edge, trying to get every ounce of performance out of that airplane that they can. They're coming on the ragged edge of this thing, and this is the world that the STOL guys live in. What makes this one even more tragic is Tom and his wife had 5 children. This is a huge loss, not only for the community, but for this family. This is going to be devastating. And I got to go back to, is this necessary? Is this worth it? You got to have altitude or airspeed. By definition, Tom chose to have neither on this. I have to go back and ask, was this really worth it? Was this a good idea? Remember in flying, there's another thing that I've always said, cocaine is also a lot of fun, but I ain't doing it. Some things you just got to choose. Climbing Mount Everest might be a lot of fun. I'm not doing that either. Tom made this choice. There's nothing wrong with that. This is a personal choice of what he wanted to do. It didn't work out in this case. He left himself no margin. None whatsoever. Is it enjoyable? Does the public love it? Is it spectacular to see? All yes. Yes, it is spectacular to see these guys fly. They are really good. I'm not so sure that I'm quite so much anymore in love with the idea of coming in with no altitude and airspeed just for the purpose of public perception and to do these events. I'm on the fence. Maybe you can leave me your comments and let me know what you think about it. I don't know. For the time being, our deepest respects and condolences to this family, the family of that community, those pilots and friends and people out there dealing with that today. This is horrible. This is a bad one, and I am truly sorry for all of this. I'm sure Blanco Luria will give you a better update from on scene to give you more specifics of exactly what happened out there. For the time being, I am sorry, and that's all I got. I got to get out of here from my tiny little itty bitty fledgling YouTube channel, DanGryder. Probable cause.